YouTube has announced that they're removing the dislike count on all YouTube videos across their platform. This is huge news, and this is a big change to the YouTube platform. What's happening, guys? Good morning. You guys have tuned into Rules for Rebels. I just got my morning coffee, and I wanted to cover this story because I think this is a big one. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is this a big deal? Is this no big deal at all? Drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on this. This is something that YouTube has been experimenting with for at least the past couple months. I've noticed that while on the YouTube app, there are certain videos, and it's oftentimes controversial videos or videos on controversial topics, where YouTube has removed the dislike button. I've also noticed on some videos, and I don't think this is a coming feature or something that's going to happen in the future, but they've removed the share button. And again, that typically happens on videos that are on a controversial subject matter. Really kind of interesting. You know, YouTube over the years has done a lot of things that have kind of angered their community, and they've gotten rid of a lot of features that YouTube users really liked. And also, they've gotten rid of a lot of features and a lot of aspects of YouTube that, one, made YouTube significantly different than normal television, and two, that actually made YouTube a social media site, or actually made YouTube a community. You know, way back in the day, YouTube used to have private messaging or DMs, and you could DM or private message YouTube content creators directly through the platform, or other YouTube users directly through the platform. They ultimately wound up getting rid of that. YouTube used to have something, I know a lot of people really like this, YouTube used to have video responses. So if I made a video talking about some topic and you disagreed with me or agreed with me or just wanted to follow up on my video, you could make a video, and when you uploaded that video, you could actually make it a YouTube response, and you would put in the video that you were responding to, and it kind of actually made YouTube into more of a social media site because there was a back and forth. You could make a video, and I could make a response to your video. So that was kind of another feature that people really liked that went away. And then another feature was YouTube annotations. So I believe either before you uploaded a video or even after the fact, you could overlay text on a video. So maybe if you made a mistake in terms of some fact you stated, or if you wanted to clarify something or expand upon something, you could actually add annotations to the video after the fact, and it wouldn't reset the video or alter the video, besides the fact that people could see that. Now today, like, you know, sure, in a video editing program, I could add text to a video, but then I would have to re-upload that video. It would be a new video, it would be a new link. You know, it's just kind of a completely different thing. And it's kind of interesting because, again, you know, YouTube at one point was an alternative to television. It was an alternative to traditional media. And in addition to all of the things that I just mentioned that kind of take away from YouTube being an alternative and also kind of take away from the social or community aspect of YouTube, a lot of people complain that YouTube is all, you know, mainstream media stuff now. You know, yesterday we had the Kyle Rittenhouse case going on, right? It's a controversial subject matter. And a lot of times I'm interested in hearing normal people's views, right? I don't want to hear a talking head from MSNBC. I don't want to hear a talking head from Fox News. I don't want to hear a talking head from CNN. You know, I'd like to hear what an average normal person thinks. And that's what YouTube used to be about. YouTube used to be obscure videos, interesting videos, people, you know, broadcasting from their homes. And now if you were to search a topic like that, all you're going to see is literally like 36 pages of news clips saying the same thing from Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, you know, NBC News, and kind of all these traditional media sources. And it's not really what YouTube used to be about. Here's what's kind of interesting. So this actually comes on the heels of Instagram hiding likes. So we're not really sure why YouTube is doing this. YouTube kind of said that it's for the mental health of their creators, which is kind of the same thing Instagram said a while back when they got rid of likes, or when they started hiding likes on the platform. But here's what's really dumb about that, right? So Instagram seemingly got rid of likes because content creators would feel bad if their content didn't get enough likes. Well, here's what ultimately happening. What ultimately wound up happening. The likes are hidden from public view, but you as the uploader can still see the likes. So, you know, as a content creator who isn't getting liked enough, and, you know, are we really so soft as a society that, you know, somebody's going to off themselves because not enough people like their Instagram picture? Kind of silly to me. But is what's upsetting somebody that everybody else can see that their Instagram post didn't get likes? Or is it upsetting people that, you know, people don't like their content? And they're trying to kind of protect creators from their emotions, but really, if people can still see on the back end that nobody liked their Instagram picture, they're still going to feel just as shitty. It's just that everybody won't know, everybody else out there or the general public won't know that they're a quote unquote shitty Instagrammer. And that's kind of the same thing that's going on with, actually, I guess this is a little bit different with YouTube. So YouTube's just getting rid of the dislike button altogether. This is actually bad for YouTube, right? Like if somebody makes a clickbaity video where the thumbnail and the title have nothing to do with the subject matter of the video, people are going to downvote it, right? If somebody just puts out a shitty video, people are going to downvote it. And you can't really judge a video by likes, because even a video that has 1 million likes at one time had 50 likes. What's kind of unique to see is the like to dislike ratio. And here's something that a lot of people suspect is the reason behind YouTube getting rid of likes. YouTube has been caught basically altering the likes on videos. But if you go over to the White House's YouTube channel, which has 1.9 million subscribers, let's look at a video here. We have 409 likes to 4,800 dislikes. Now, if this dislike button were gone altogether, we would say, oh, this has 409 likes. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's bad. I would expect a channel with 1.9 million subscribers that maybe have more likes than that, but maybe this is a newer video. To me, the like versus dislike ratio tells a lot about a video that you can't get from just having a like button. Let's go back and let's take a look at a couple other videos here, and we'll just kind of randomly pick some. Let's see. Press Briefing by Jen Psaki, 19,000 views. We got 271 likes. We got 1,800 dislikes. Let's go back a little bit. Oh, what's this guy saying? So we got a press briefing about the beer cough. Let's see, what do we got here? We got 133 likes, 4,200 dislikes. And so I'm going to kind of change the topic real quick. Do you guys remember when Netflix got rid of their star system and kind of went for, just a thumbs up or thumbs down? And then now Netflix does some kind of weird thing where they tell you, based on content you've watched, how likely are you to watch this content? I have no idea what that's based upon. If I watch a lot of true crime stuff and another video isn't true crime, they're probably going to say I'm not going to like it as much. But basically, Netflix did this in response to Amy Schumer's content not being liked on Netflix. And so a lot of people are speculating that, maybe Joe Biden or maybe the White House aren't really happy with their like to dislike ratio, and that's why YouTube is getting rid of it. One thing that I've kind of really noticed with social media and really kind of media in general, have you guys noticed that in recent years, the comment sections have been turned off on most articles? Yahoo News. A lot of people used to love the comments on Yahoo News. I think the comments on a story are oftentimes more interesting than the story because the media has a narrative. The media has a certain storyline they want to push. And to me, it's kind of interesting seeing people comment on media stories and seeing whether they agree with it, disagree with it, if people have anything additional to add to the story. And when comments go away, we just kind of have to take the Yahoo News reporter word for what it is they're saying. Social media and the internet was kind of billed as the thing that was going to give us all a voice and make us more connected. And over the years, we've become even more dependent on it. But our ability to kind of actually express ourselves and have our voice heard is becoming less and less and less. Again, with the removal of comments. And with YouTube, the one way you as a YouTube viewer, as a content consumer, have to express your pleasure or displeasure with a piece of content is with the upvote or the downvote button, right? When the downvote button goes away, you can either upvote or you can not upvote, and most people just don't upvote to begin with. So YouTube is kind of censoring you. YouTube is kind of taking your voice away. Sure, you can say something in the comments, but on a popular video that gets thousands of comments, your comment is never going to be seen. And also, the creator or the uploader of a video can wind up removing comments that they don't like. We kind of know that Silicon Valley, big tech, the media has certain agendas that they want to push, has certain storylines. You guys remember the summer of 2020 when the BLM riots were going on, and Don Lemon was on CNN telling us about these mostly peaceful protests as cars and fires burned in the background. And, most people were like, I don't know about that. But if people don't have a voice, the only voice out there is Don Lemon and CNN or whatever the other media is out there. And so you can kind of see like people are being silenced. I'm not really going after some grand conspiracy. Who are they? But overwhelmingly, it does seem like whether it be Instagram removing likes, whether it be YouTube removing thumbs up, thumbs down, Netflix removing stars, your ability to voice your opinion is being taken away more and more and more every day. Well, at the same time, more of our communication is going online, and we're becoming more dependent on these platforms. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of scary to me. All that said, let's get on with this article. This one comes to us from TechCrunch. YouTube is removing the dislike count on all videos across its platform. YouTube today announced its decision to make the dislike count on videos private across its entire platform. The decision is likely to be controversial given the extent that it impacts the public's visibility into a video's reception. But YouTube believes the change will better protect its creators from harassment and reduce the threat of what it calls dislike attacks, essentially when a group teams up to drive the number of dislikes a video receives. Now, I don't think dislike attacks are really a big problem on YouTube. And there are ways that YouTube could implement, I would prefer if YouTube didn't mess with upvotes and downvotes to begin with, but there are ways that YouTube, if they wanted to, could say, they could put some type of like velocity aspect into the reviews where like, if people are pouring in and a video gets, 100 times more downvotes within a time period than it normally would, maybe the downvotes are temporarily suspended or something like that. Again, I would prefer they didn't mess with them at all, but there are ways that you could stop dislike attacks without getting rid of dislikes entirely. The company says that while dislike counts won't be visible to the public, it's not removing the Okay, so this is different. The company says that while dislike counts won't be visible to the public, it's not removing the dislike button itself. Users can still click thumbs down on a video to signal their dislike to creators privately. Meanwhile, creators will be able to track their dislikes in the YouTube Studio along with other analytics about the video's performance if they choose. So here's what's kind of silly, right? Like we're doing this to protect content creators' mental health, but content creators on the back end can still see that people don't like their content. It's just that the general public won't be able to know that. Like it just seems silly to me. So this is kind of the same thing that Instagram did. The change follows an experiment YouTube ran earlier this year whose goal was to determine if these sorts of changes would reduce dislike attacks and creator harassment. At the time, YouTube explained that public dislike counts can affect creators' well-being and may motivate targeted campaigns to add dislikes to videos. Well, that's true. Dislikes can also serve as a signal to others when videos are clickbait, spam, or misleading, which can be useful. And again, if you see a huge dislike to like ratio, that probably tells you it's not a video worth watching, whereas you can't really make that assessment just based on likes, because like I said, even a video that winds up getting 10 million views at one time only has, even a video that winds up getting 10,000 likes at one time only had 10 likes, right? YouTube declined to share the specific details or data collected through those experiments when TechCrunch asked. However, but it ran its tests for multiple months and conducted an in-depth analysis of its impact as to how the changes affected both users and creators alike. The company had experimented with different designs for removing the dislike counts, including one where the word dislike appeared underneath the thumbs down button instead of the number of dislikes. This is a design the company has now settled on, which is less of a disruptive change to the row of engagement buttons beneath a video. The company would not be the first major platform to experiment with the idea of removing public visibility of signals that convey user sentiment. For similar mental health related reasons, Instagram a couple years ago began tests to hide its like counts globally. It believed the focus on achieving likes could be detrimental to the community and may make creators feel less comfortable expressing themselves on the platform. Ultimately, though, neither Facebook nor Instagram could fully commit to a decision and instead put the power to hide likes back under users' controls. So I guess I thought I'd heard about that. I guess Instagram wound up kind of changing the tune, and now if you want to show your likes, you can. If you don't, you can hide them. The move has effectively kept the status quo intact. Here's something that's interesting about this. At a time when Instagram and YouTube are trying to hide dislikes, Twitter right now is actually experimenting or beta testing with adding some type of dislike feature. So it's kind of interesting that one platform is getting rid of it, or actually two platforms are getting rid of this, and one is thinking about adding it in. YouTube's changes to the dislike count are being introduced at a time where there's been a public reckoning over big tech and its impact on mental health, particularly when it comes to minors. Companies have been rethinking how their systems are designed to target and influence their user base, as well as what sort of changes they can make ahead of the coming regulations. In a number of markets, lawmakers have been dragging in tech execs to hearings, YouTube included, and are crafting legislation aimed at reining in some of big tech's more problematic elements. Mental health is only one area of regulatory interest, though along with targeting, privacy, algorithmic boosting of misinformation, and more. In YouTube's case, the company has attempted to get ahead of some of the required changes by implementing increased protections and privacy features for users aged 13 to 17, while also decreasing the monetization potential for unhealthy kids' content. But the larger shift in the market is also pushing companies to consider other areas of their platforms that are potentially toxic to broad groups of people. That said, YouTube told TechCrunch today's removal of dislikes count is not being guided by any regulatory changes, but rather its support for content creators. Now, here's what's interesting about this is most content creators and YouTubers in general weren't calling for this and don't actually want this. We are proactively making this change because YouTube has a responsibility to protect creators, especially smaller creators, from harassment and dislike attacks, the spokesman said. Here's the thing. There's a Reddit forum called Newtubers, which is about people who are new to YouTube. And, you know, it's funny, people get like 1 dislike on their video or 2 dislikes on their video, and they're like, oh my gosh, I have a dislike mob coming after me. Why does somebody dislike every one of my videos? And the reality is, for most smaller creators, and shit, even for, you know, I have a decent sized channel, but even for my channel, most people don't give a shit about me or you or anybody else to go out of their way to even give a dislike to a smaller creator. So the idea that this is a huge problem is kind of crazy. The company, of course, is also rolling this out when the battle for creator talent is becoming hugely competitive among tech giants. Today's social platforms are establishing funds to retain their top creators amid increased competition, particularly from the growing threat of TikTok. YouTube this year announced a $100 million creator fund to jumpstart its short-form video platform, for example, and over the past year, it's introduced several new features and policies aimed at improving the creator's experience. The changes to the dislike count will roll out globally across YouTube's platform starting today, including all devices across the web. So, you know, I would suggest check out some videos on controversial topics or on controversial people. And, you know, I think you'll find it interesting, the like to dislike ratio. Let's take a look at one more here. We got 485 likes to 9,200 dislikes on President Biden and Jen Psaki's COVID action plan. I mean, look at this like to dislike ratio. Okay, I'm going to pause it. We're going to head over to Reddit. I just wanted to read some people's comments about this. Okay, so here we have a Reddit thread about an article talking about YouTube removes all public dislike counts aimed at aiming to defang harassment mobs. A lot of YouTubers are probably stoked by this for informative how-to type stuff. This is a severe negative for me. So if you're watching a video about how to do something, whether it be how to make money online, you know, learning how to ski, whatever else, you kind of want to know if other people who actually know about the subject matter actually find this this content helpful or not. Somebody responded to that. Just use this today while looking for some handy work tutorials. The negatives is the quickest way to know not to bother with a BS video unless with a BS useless video. Click through about 5 popular but highly downloaded videos before finding a good one. For me, I always choose the oldest videos. I needed to see edit sew a button on a shirt and had no idea how. I found a 10-year-old video that was perfect, plus it was only 3 minutes long. That's how I knew it was going to be quality. Same content in the last few years is way too often some knockoff of a previously successful video. I wonder if it told viewers to smash that like button. This has nothing to do with your average YouTuber and all to do with pleasing advertisers and corporations on the platform. Just ask Blizzard what they like about this change. Suddenly, all their missteps and idiotic actions across the years won't show in the ratio. Maybe they even dare releasing Diablo Immortal now. YouTubers will still be able to see the dislike count on their own videos. It's hidden to public view. This accomplishes literally nothing except aiding shitty people in scamming and lying to unsuspecting people. And don't forget, you could always disable likes and dislikes on a video if you didn't want to see that in the first place. I wasn't aware of that. Let's see. I guess you have to dig into the comment section to see what's what now. Well, then you got to sort through all the spam comments, and also content uploaders can delete comments that they don't like. So that really doesn't help us here. Might recommend a channel blocker. Let's see. Finding an actual good tutorial is going to be a pain with this change. 45 minutes into a tutorial, you'll get a jump scare. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'll link to kind of everything we've covered here, including this Reddit post if you guys want to see some more people's opinions. But what do you think about YouTube removing the dislike button? Does it accomplish anything? Why is YouTube doing this? What is the goal behind it? What are your thoughts on it? I'd love to hear from you guys, so drop a comment down below. If you guys enjoyed today's video, give it a like, and you know what? If you didn't, give it a dislike, because it'll be your last chance to do so. And if you guys like this channel, like more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell. That's all I got for you guys today. I'll catch you on the next one. Rules for Rebels, signing out.